before people ask you about Shakur, I spoke to him personally. The facts that came out in the media is not the facts what happened. The video's a year old. When a fighter makes a mistake, people run with it without knowing the facts, without knowing what really happened.
Well, we knew the facts, and we knew that he was in a place that he shouldn't have been at. And we had a long talk with him, and luckily the people around him, his grandfather who raised him, Coach K was a big influence on him, and Andre Ward and James Prince, who were his managers, took him aside and talked to him, and it'll never happen again, I assure you.
He's a great kid. He really is.
He's a great kid, and he understands now what his responsibilities are, and he's not a wild kid, and he's going to be fine, and I'm very comfortable with how he's being raised.
He's fighting on the Crawford Khan card. Amir Khan means all business. Crawford means all business. How big is that fight, Bob?
It's really huge. It's doing great at the gate. We're going to have 13,000 people in the Garden. It's a great card, not only Crawford and Khan, which should be a terrific fight, but Teofimo is in with the European champion. That's a big step up for him. Shakur is fighting this crazy fight with Diaz, who my matchmakers hate. I mean, just like with Oscar, they didn't want Shakur to go in with Diaz this soon. Couldn't stop him, so we made that fight. And then Felix Verdeo is coming on like a locomotive in Puerto Rico, and him and Brian Vasquez will open the pay-per-view card. That's a terrific fight.
Bob, does Crawford need to make a statement versus Khan to make these other welterweights start saying his name and start building the drum for those fights?
Don't be naive. That question of, well, should he make a statement? He's made statement. Got nothing to do with statement. As long as Heyman hides his welterweights, we'll look elsewhere for who to fight. I look at the welterweights there. Porter is ordinary, in my opinion. Thurman was once a tremendous welterweight. He isn't anymore. Garcia is a decent fighter. He's ordinary. But he has one fighter who could challenge Crawford, and that's Errol Spence. And after this fight is over, and if Crawford is successful, I will get on the phone and talk to Mr. Heyman and tell him to quit the 9 cents and get the fight done. Here's a fight that both fighters want. I know that Crawford wants that fight, and I've talked with Errol Spence when he met with Crawford, and he wants that fight. Each of these kids want the fight. There is no impediment to doing the fight. It would be a pay-per-view fight. Both networks could participate. There is no reason why that fight can't be made.
Everyone always knows if two fighters want the fight to happen, it'll happen. So you knowing both of that, you're
You don't
pretty
know
sure.
Mr. Heyman.